Our first storm is anxiety. Woo! I think I just gave myself anxiety saying the word anxiety. So let us explore this word that leaves us powerless and fearful in its path. Anxiety is your body's natural response to stress. It is a feeling of fear about what's to come. The first day of school, going to a job interview, or giving a speech may cause most people to feel fearful and nervous. But if your feelings of anxiety are extreme, last for longer than 6 months, and are interfering with your day-to-day life, you may have an anxiety disorder, and that's in accordance with healthline.com. So right now you may be asking yourself, what exactly is an anxiety disorder? They're extreme, they're intense, and they leave you completely powerless. A few of these examples are phobias, social anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, panic attacks, and also post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. PTSD used to be associated with people within the military, but now we're seeing it affects any and everyone. I'm ready. I'm ready to walk through some of my own scars and brokenness with anxiety. When I say only by God's grace I am here today, I am not playing. I am so serious. A few years ago, my whole world came crashing down. My normal day-to-day life became extremely abnormal. I woke up in fear, and I went to sleep in fear, worrying about death daily. Is today the day I'm going to die, or even worse, something horrible is going to happen to my husband and children? My mind was chaotic and busy 24/7. I mean, some things were important, but to be completely honest, most of the thoughts and visions and images that were plaguing me were not, because it wasn't real. I was nervous and fearful of lies. Lies that felt so real I couldn't breathe when I thought about them. They became a part of me daily. I'm now irritable for anything and anyone that came across my path, at home and at work. I started to isolate myself from my family and friends. Hanging out didn't feel the same anymore. I'm feeling sharp pains and tightening in my chest because I want to scream. I want to take off this mask, but then it would be known. I'm weak and I'm broken. I'm the one everyone comes to for advice, and now I'm asking for advice. Nope. Not today. I'll be fine. I can fix me. And each day I'm getting worse and worse. I'm now checking my doors and windows of my house 3 to 4 times. And leaving my house, I'm circling the block to ensure my garage is closed. Because someone or something is going to enter my home and harm my family, and it will all be my fault. But I'm going to continue wearing this mask. It's my problem. One day I'm going to wake up and it's going to be normal again, right? Whatever that means. Finally, my husband got tired of walking on eggshells around me. He didn't know what was going on with me because I would not communicate with him about anything. I mean, how could I? How can I? Where do I start? How can he understand? He is going to start looking at me differently, and I really didn't feel like dealing with that fear. So he said to me one day, babe, I think it's time. I think it's time you get some help. And I must confess, I actually listened without a fight. I reached out to my civilian doctor and the VA, and both diagnosed me with an adjustment disorder, with anxiety, PTSD, OCD, and a few other things. I mean, an adjustment disorder, here you go, here's a label. Basically, it just means that any change, sudden, big, small, I view it catastrophically, or I view it in a negative mindset. So I'm not going to lie. I gave everyone pushback with this. What do you mean an adjustment disorder? Now you add in labels to me. I don't understand. And now you're making me weak and vulnerable, and that's not me. I work hard for mine. I don't take anything from anyone. I'm a superwoman. Stop playing with me. I don't need this, and as I stated before, I will figure this out myself. So I started drinking more, and I'm not going to lie, it numbed the mental and the physical and the emotional, the emotional pain, but only temporary. I'm searching online for other vices to calm my disorder. I'm using essential oils, even researching and buying lava stones and rocks, anything for anxiety. Then last year, I had to face a fear on my own, flying. Anyone that knows me knows I hate to fly. But I had to do it. There was no other option. So I rubbed myself down in essential oils and meditate, headed to the airport, and I prayed to myself during each checkpoint. And on the plane, I sat next to a calm and pleasant woman. And we talked all about her pets and her work. She was a dentist and her family. And I noticed something. I'm laughing. And at one point, I even stated to her, I'm grateful that she was next to me because I'm not even thinking about my fear of flying in this moment. Landed at my destination, enjoyed spending time with family. Each day, I wanted to live. But each day, so don't go laughing at me. That's what I name my disorders. She reminded me I'm still here. I remember going with my family member to get a car seat from Walmart because it was time for my little one to change out of the baby car seat to a toddler size car seat. And I had a panic attack in Walmart. Do you hear me? A panic attack in Walmart looking at car seats. I was sweating, chest pains. It was hard for me to breathe, and I felt like I was going to pass out. And I remember her asking me, Are you okay? And all I could get out of my mouth was, This is my norm. This is what happens to me when I face any change. That night we talked about what happened, and she said something to me that completely opened a closed door for me. What does the Bible say about anxiety? I'm like, what? What do you mean? What does the Bible say about it? No one understands what I'm going through. This is only happening to me. So finally, I stopped fighting her, and I did exactly what she stated. I was in shock. I was in awe, amazed at all these scriptures and verses that popped up on my phone. In that moment, I saw God saying to me, You are not alone. There are people that have gone before you that face the same storm you're facing right now. Learn about them and learn about me. And from that day, I turned to God with all of my issues and all of my disorders. I started taking my therapy sessions seriously and day to day just stepping out of God's way. So what does God say about being anxious, fearful, afraid, worrisome? I want to share 4 scriptures and verses that had gotten me through many storms. These verses provided me strength and courage to face them day to day. I study them, I memorize them, I meditate on them, and I call upon them when I need to be covered. The first one is Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Man, that's powerful. The next one is Deuteronomy 31, verse 8. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. Another one that I love is 2 Timothy 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Man, yeah, those are deep, for real. And the last one is Philippians 4, verse 6 and 7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Those 4 scriptures, they provide me strength. They guide me. They remind me how much I'm loved. And they tell me, do not fear anything, not even anxiety. God is right there working it out. He's right there helping me. He's right there strengthening me, guiding me, nurturing me, loving me. So all I got to do is stand with him and don't give up. I just love those scriptures. And within the notes of this storm, I'm going to provide as much scriptures pertaining to anxiety for you. And then you can figure out what works best for you. Again, this is what I'm doing, and this is what works for me. So I just want to make sure that I'm able to share those information with you so that you can choose, make a decision what's going to work for you. Also, I want to leave with you guys a beautiful song that has been with me through many storms, and it just uplifts me and it moves me, and it doesn't matter where I am or what's going on. When I play this song, it gives me something else. And that song is Trust in You by Anthony Brown and the group Therapy. Thank you for joining me on The Ugly Truth, rebranding with the Lord. Your soul is your brand. See you next storm, and have a blessed day.